sun is in a terrible spot. But anyway, here we go. You can see my orchard is behind me. So I'm gonna give you a tour. I don't think, if I have given you a tour, it was a long time ago. It definitely looks different now. So then I'll give you a tour of my, I always call my experimental garden, I think, because it is. And show you what I've been up to. Some of it I've talked about, some of it I haven't, so you'll get to see a little bit more. I haven't done a lot of garden tours this year, and it's more just, I get so busy working. Sorry, it's windy. I get so busy working in my garden, I don't have time to do a tour. And I know I'll regret this next year, because I will have no record of this year, even though my garden did very well. So, sorry to myself for when you come back and look at this. It's not going to be that fantastic. Sorry. I'm hoping that I'll eventually do my big garden because it's exploded. And I did a good job this year. It's not perfectly weedless, but it's, compared to what I've typically done, it's done very well. And it's really nice to have walkways. I don't think I will ever go back to just mulching. I will use the landscaping fabric. I don't remember who it was, which homestead YouTube person that my parents and my husband watched, but they used landscaping fabric, and I went and bought the cheap stuff just to see if it would work, and it's wonderful. But I learned something. I'll pass on to you what I learned. You can use the cheap stuff. So let's just start there. I was given a gift certificate. All these wonderful motorcycles. I was given a gift certificate for Walmart, and I used it to buy landscaping fabric, just to try as an experiment. What I didn't realize is that when you use the landscaping fabric, it won't eliminate the weeds underneath. Surprise. So there are some places that I put it, sorry, that it didn't work real well because the weeds still grew underneath it. But if you plant and then immediately put it down, it keeps the weeds from coming up. It will only grow on top of it if weed seeds get on top of it, and it does happen, not much. I had a few that I had trouble with. It was basically by my carrots and stuff that I had trouble, but most other places I didn't at all. As long as I planted to put it down like right away or within a week. It was just trying to cover up the weeds that were already there. That did not work. Maybe it would work with the better stuff, I don't know. And I didn't put holes in the, no, I did put holes in the fabric for things like tomatoes. But I also use plastic in my tomatoes. But my mom has her tomatoes with this landscaping fabric, and it worked just fine. But I am not going to poke a hole for every kohlrabi and every kale, and I'm not going to do it. All the peas, there's too much. So I have one section of my garden that has quite a few weeds in it, and I've had to weed those sections because I didn't do that. I just put the landscaping fabric in the walkways. And even though there are some weeds in there, I'm still happy with it because it kept the weeding down for me, which was my goal. I am just so incredibly grateful. The other thing I did was I planted pumpkins under the trees, because I have 2 apple trees in the middle of my garden, and that helped with the weeds. And it also, I did it in the corn so that I could put it in the corn, like after the corn was done, then I have the pumpkins growing in there. So this year what I did was, when I'm done growing, when the corn's done, like when I pick it to eat it, I'm pulling up the corn and I'm just laying it down on the plastic to dry because I'm going to use it for decorating. But that way I have the corn already pulled out for the year. It's like, why didn't I do this last year? That was so done. And I don't have a lot of corn this year. I have just the right amount for me. which is less than I wanted. But hey, I'm glad it happened this way. But that way, the pumpkins have already taken over the area, so I don't have to fight the weeds because the pumpkins are taking over where I'm pulling the corn out. So that works really well. I would definitely do that again. But one thing I did that I won't do again is I took sunflowers and I put pole beans on them. That did not work because when it rained, really got a pretty good torrential rain for 2 days, the sunflowers fell over. So now my pole beans are like, help, because they're all laying on the ground with my sunflowers. So if I do that again, I will have to somehow brace the sunflowers up. A couple of sunflowers I tied up, but not all of them. So yeah, that was a lesson I learned. It was really nice when the sunflowers started standing up. It was really pretty. But yeah, when it fell over, not so pretty. So anyway, let's get going with the garden tour, and sorry for the long chat. This is just more of a record for myself for next year. Because this year was kind of a messed up year for my garden, and I did so many things that I needed to keep some kind of a record because I won't remember next year or something. So let's get going. All right, this is my fig tree. I have grown fig trees before, or I've had a fig tree before. This is not my first one, but when we had a fig tree before, I lived in Alabama, so they grow a little different here. But look, that's a little fig. There's one, there's some there, and there's some there, and there's one right there. But actually that might be a leaf. My point is that I live in the Midwest. I'm in, my dad says 4B, and I get figs. So I think that's pretty cool. And I have, look how much my fig tree, I have 2 fig trees. I'll show you my other one, but this is one of my, this was the best looking fig tree. So that's what it looks like. Isn't that neat? And then here's my other one. This one is growing really well, but not as well as the other one. It just had this for the longest time, and I was like, oh great, it's just like not doing anything. But then a couple of weeks ago, it started shooting up these leaves now. So there's some over here and there's some over there. Right, there's one other one. So I'm kind of impressed. Now let's see if they actually survive until next year. Oh, I was gonna show you this. This is my peach tree. This is the first year. This is the tree that I fully expected to make it. This tree over here, I thought died because it was July before it decided to do anything. And I actually bought another tree because I didn't think that one was gonna make it. So I'll show you, because that's my big tree. That's the first big tree I showed you. Then I have 2 apples, one here and one there. And I didn't plant these, so I don't know which is which. But one is Honeycrisp, and what is the other one? It's a yellow apple, I believe. Oh no, it's what do you call it? The Granny Smith. So one of these is Granny Smith and one is the Honeycrisp. And then there's my other apple tree right there. This is my other peach tree I planted because I thought the other one had died. I need to have at least 2, but I bought this one. So I actually have 3 peach trees. So we'll see. As you can see, it needs some more mulching. And my husband just bought a bunch of mulch, so I'll be mulching these. These are my grapes, and as you can see, those stupid, I think, was it Japanese beetles or Asian beetles, have pretty much made them lace. See, look at that. But I'm letting them eat them this year because I don't have any chickens or anything to keep up with them. Next year I will have some animals to actually eat the bugs. I just don't have anything this year, so. But that's, hopefully next year I'll get grapes. These grapes here, my husband accidentally cut them off, so I wasn't really expecting anything this year. I think this end didn't get cut off, and there are a couple of grapes on this side, but not much. I just honestly wasn't expecting anything. Then I'll take you on the other side and show you my asparagus patch. Okay, so I think you can kind of tell where my asparagus patch is started. It's There's one right here. This one showed up later. This is the one my husband mowed over. But as you can see, it came back just fine. But look at this. See, somebody gave me asparagus roots. I've never planted asparagus roots before. They looked dead, literally. But look, they all have asparagus growing up. I was just shocked. I think there's 3 that don't have any, but I have asparagus. I have a lot, actually. I just couldn't believe it. But look at that. I'm gonna have asparagus next year. Here's a bunch more. These ones, I think these ones right here, these first 2, 3 are ones, actually, it's this one, and this one, these first 3, I actually grew from seed myself. No, it was 4 of them. So up to this one. These are the ones that were given to me, and they're all growing. It's just, look at that. See? It's an asparagus, but it's so thin that I can't eat them. I'm just so excited that they're growing. I mean, I grew that. But see, you can see there's the root I buried. I didn't bury it deep enough, and it's sitting up there, but it worked. I watered it really well, even though they looked terrible when I got them. They literally looked dead, but hey, I got asparagus out of them. So hopefully next year I'll have, I don't even care if I don't get a lot. I mean, I expect a bunch from those 2 patches, but these are all new. Those are my second year, and I actually have some more to move over here. I think like 4 more to move, so I'm probably gonna move them down there because there's some room down there yet to plant some. But yay for asparagus. All right, I'm gonna show you my blueberries, and then I'm gonna show you my other garden spot, my garden experiment. But I have 8 blueberries here, and yes, I realized that I need to fertilize them. I got my fertilizer yesterday. Oh look, I was really worried about this plant because it looked really bad, but there's some new leaf. That's just been since we planted it a week or so ago. But the red leaves are telling me it needs some fertilizer, and I left my fertilizer and forgot to bring it out here today, so hopefully it'll get fertilized tomorrow. But there we go. I have 8 blueberries, and I still need to plant my kiwi. But here, I got Sweetheart Blueberry. There's 2 of them. I got 2 of each kind. And then this one is Sunshine Blueberry. There's 2 of those. This one's the pink lemonade. That means that the blueberries are actually pink, which I thought was kind of cool. So I got 2 of those. That's these 2. And then these last 2 are Misty Blueberry. So there's that one and that one. So I'm kind of excited. This is my second blueberry patch. I have 2 of them, but my dad helped me plant the other one. We did it in a trench, a big long trench. And for this one, we decided to do it this way just to see which way worked the best. And the ones at my dad's house, because I wasn't sure where exactly I wanted to plant them, so I planted half of them at my dad's house and half at mine. My parents helped me a lot. I have my garden at their house. I've had my garden at their house for over 5 years, so I planted half of them at their house and half at mine because my dad really wanted blueberries. And since I was the one that learned how to do them, I decided, well, I'll plant them there. My son really wanted to learn, or he loves blueberries, so one of my boys does, so there we go. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this garden, and I've talked about this before. This is my experiment garden. I could call it my postage stamp garden, perhaps. I used old seed that I didn't think would germinate or do anything, and this is my attempt to grow carrots because the soil was very, it's full of it has a lot of horse compost in it. horse manure, but it's whatever you want to call it. So I thought it would be really good to try carrots because I just couldn't grow carrots. The first time I tried carrots, I did it up there. Nothing grew. I put these boards on top and I watered it and I got nothing. Well, I got mushrooms. It's hilarious. And then I got irritated and I just threw a whole bunch of seeds like right here. You can see I've actually pulled some of those carrots up. I was so frustrated. And then they grew. And then as you can see, like right here, that's all carrots again. Because I thought, hey, it worked the first time to throw it down. Why not again? And then these are the beans. This is, let's see. These are summer squash. And then I have some cilantro here. Let me see if I can find one for you. Here you can see. Here's some cilantro. I didn't think any was gonna come up, but it did. And then I have one kale there. There's another kale somewhere. Don't know where it is, but I had planted more. Oh, right there's one, right there. I planted more, but I believe I have a rabbit that ate it off, and I bought fencing. But after they ate off these originally, they never came back and ate it. And I haven't seen any evidence, although I just saw a squirrel run. So I just haven't bothered to put the fence up. So anyway, and then this is, I don't know if you can see those little things right there. Those are leeks. And I don't know if you can tell, I have a whole bunch of leeks right there. Yes, I have weeds too. So, and then over here, I did a row of peas next to these beans. And there's not many. I was just glad they came out. This is the first pea row I ever actually got to put up. And then these are the seeds I kept from last year. So I planted those. Those are bush beans. They may even be I think they're yellow and green. And then this row right here is peas. You can see those are the peas that I said, like, if I picked peas and they were all dried out, I just kept them. And they looked terrible. They didn't look like pea seeds at all. They looked, you know, I just didn't think they were gonna do anything, but they did. So now I have peas in here. So I actually have 2 rows of peas. So I have that. And then here is kohlrabies. I have a row right there. I don't know if you can really tell, but this is spinach right here. I planted some more spinach. I'm not sure. When I first planted spinach, you can see down there, it's actually growing down there. And then it only half the row planted. I don't know what happened there. So I planted it again. So I have it all the way down the row. So I was quite pleased with the progress there. I'm gonna go to the other side so you can see better. So I'm gonna show you something I fell over when I saw this, but okay, so this is celery. And then I have marigolds right there. And then over here, I don't remember what they're called, but they look like tiny little watermelons, but they're little cucamelons, I think they're called. That's what they are. But I haven't gotten anything from them yet. You can tell there's some coming. And I still have probably 4 to 6 weeks left. But look at this. You have to see this. I'm super excited. So I can't grow zucchini to save my life. It's ridiculous. I had one planter, I thought, but good. Look what's here. This is zucchini. I have waited all year. Oh, there's a zucchini right there. I grew one. Look at that. Looky there. My first one. That is the only zucchini I've grown this year. Okay, that's so sneaking exciting. But there's 2 plants. I thought all my zucchini died. Because there's another one in there. And I think there's another one in this plant too. So I have zucchini. And then there's one. This is the, I forget. It's like a squash, but it's like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like those little patty pan ones. I picked one off of there. It was blue. And then there's more. I don't know what's wrong with these. I mean, look how little they are. I picked one the other day because it had been there for so long. I'm like, oh, I should probably pick it. Then this is another kind of, this is a cucumber. And I thought it was a squash, but look, here. I get to take this home. Look at that. Didn't even notice. So I have another cucumber. Woohoo! Wow. Oh, that's exciting. I thought this was a squash, but apparently not. It's a cucumber. Oh, and there's some more. Looky there. So weird not to see these covered in bugs because I always get bugs with these. But there we go. How exciting is that? So anyway, oh, I also have over here, right there, that's basil I planted. Sure, now cover it up. But I tried to plant strawberries in here, but they just didn't do very well. They're white strawberries, so we'll see if anything comes back, because this, it should have done better than it actually did. But I have one more thing next to show you. Oh, by the way, this, I think I told you this, I call this my postage stamp garden, my experiment garden. So let's go see my tomatillos. Okay, so I grew my tomatillos in these pots this year. It was sort of intentional, but they're just starting to ripen. And I eat tomatillos instead of tomatoes, because lucky me can't have them, but looky there. I've been harvesting them, and I think I have enough to can. So I'm gonna can some this weekend. And I picked some already, I don't know. But when they split open, I don't know if you can tell in here, but they're ready when they're split open. See, like this one's ready to pick. That means they're ready to eat. But like this one is this one is actually too ripe. And bugs are getting it, so I'm just gonna toss that. That can be seed for next year. But oh, look here, this one's ready. Looky there. But I'm gonna can them and use them for tomatoes. But I have a bunch here. I have a couple more over here. Looky there, I have 3 over there. But that's my tomatillo patch. All right, so this is my other experiment. These are the tomato plants under, I don't know what you call this thing, but it's like a canopy tarp thing over the garage. And it's so they don't get wet. I have to water them myself, but we have really bad problems with blight here. So I put all of these under there. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8. There's like 10 tomato plants here. And these ones right here, I don't know if you can really tell, but those are the cherry tomatoes ones. And then these are just regular tomatoes. And they're really late. I mean, I have tomatoes, you can see them. But that's okay. They were more of an experiment, and I planted them really late because I wanted to see if I could keep them from getting diseased. And look, they aren't. So anyway, now I'll show you my next section. Okay, so this is going to hopefully be my herb garden. And I have mint. These 3 are mint. I can't remember. This one is peppermint, chocolate mint, and then this is the spearmint. I should probably clip that one. Thyme and oregano. And I'm supposed to have chives over there. Pretend they're there because I keep forgetting to bring them. And then right here, it's really hard to see in here, but I planted the Egyptian walking onions. I am envisioning this being herbs, and then the walking onions will probably just take over the spot. I don't know if you can see, but the stuff that's in there really can't escape because it's by the house and then the sidewalk. It would kind of have trouble trying to run off this. And if the mint does run out, that's fine with me. But anyway, this is going to be my herb bed. And then over here, this was an experiment. This is actually my echinacea. I haven't planted it yet, but this, I put these are the walking onions. I put them in this pot because I don't know much about walking onions, and not enough. But I planted them there because I didn't know where to put them in the dirt. And I thought, well, if they grow, then I'll have onions, you know? And the worst thing that can happen is they grow in the bucket. But they grew just fine. I'm going to take them out and plant them. But I was just trying to plant them somewhere because it's like, well, you can't leave them like dry out or whatever. And I didn't. It's like, oh, great. I literally have a big thing of them. So I don't know if I'll get to plant them or not. But I just picked them up because they were sitting there drying out on my onions. And so I stuck them in here just to try it. But anyway, that's going to go next to my stairs. And they grew. And then these are going to go, I'm thinking it's going to go either around my well or it's going to go around my house. I haven't really decided yet. I forget, but I have something else here. Oh, my chamomile. I should probably plant that too. But there we go. And these are my geraniums. I think that's what you call them. Is that right? I don't remember. I'm terrible. But I'm actually going to put these in the ground. I just haven't done it yet. Hoping to do it this week. So I'll show you around the other side of the house where I planted my sunflowers. All right, these are the pumpkins that I grew. Weird thing is, look at this. Green on one side. But they're orange on this side. I don't know why they do that, but there's some orange. I think it's more on the bottom that they're orange, but these are my pineapples. I have 6 of them, and then I have one more in the windowsill. But my coleus, aren't they pretty? I think I killed my lemongrass, but my roses, and forget what those hibiscus maybe? I forget what they are. Yep, they need to actually go on the ground. But look, these are my sunflowers, and then I grew gladiolas. Yeah, I put them in the plastic to grow. It was kind of an experiment to see if they would grow, and they did. So I have sunflowers and gladiolas. I really need to do some more down there, but I'm just happy that I grew something so it doesn't look so dull around my house. I prefer flowers around a house. And it's still a work in progress. But as you can see, hopefully I can put more. But these are my roses. The petunias. As I said, I think I killed my lemongrass. I'm gonna have to get some more. I'm gonna have to get some water. I don't know if that's salvageable. I goofed. My roses. I'm gonna do rosebuds if I can, because that's something you can look. I have a couple up there, so. My lily, my poor lily. I really need to just plant that. And then, what do you call this? I forget what you call these, but they only grow in the shade this year. And they've been doing okay. I keep forgetting to fertilize them. They would be so happy if I did, but I'm gonna put these in my basement. I did last year and they did really well. But again, they would do much better if I actually fertilize them.